All right, it's game 2 time. Western Conference final and all that wonderful stuff. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. That's the greeting that I'm providing to you. St. Louis in against San Jose for game 2. St. Louis will not be happy with how game 2 ended up, or game 1 ended up for them in San Jose. They're going to look to fix it. They have a better game 2 record in these playoffs than does the San Jose Sharks. Now, in round 1, they won game 2. That was the second straight win over the Winnipeg Jets. Round 2, they lost game 2 against Dallas. On the San Jose side of things, they've lost game 2 both series to Vegas, and it was on their way to losing games 2, 3, and 4 after a convincing game 1 victory. And in round 2, they lost game 2 against Colorado after a somewhat convincing victory in game 1 there too. So after a somewhat convincing game 1 victory here, there should be all hands on deck for St. Louis as well. Or San Jose as well, I should say. Basically, look and see how the first 5 minutes of this game go, maybe the first 10, and see what kind of a mood that gives you the rest of this game. Leading scorers on the St. Louis side of things, Jaden Schwartz now is their leading guy, 8 goals, 4 assists. He has 12 points. That's number 1 for them. Next up, Pietrangelo, 2 goals, 9 assists. Ryan O'Reilly, 3 goals, 7 assists. Bozak and Perron both have 3 goals and 4 assists, and Colton Parayko, a goal and 6 assists. On the San Jose side of things, Logan Couture, 11 goals, 6 assists. Yeah, if we want to talk about who could end up winning the Conn Smythe, we can throw his name in there, but we should probably reach the finals before we start really talking about Conn Smythe winners. Brent Burns, 5 goals, 10 assists. Tomas Hertl, 9 goals, 5 assists. Carlson, 13 assists. No goals. That's still no goals, but 13 assists. Definitely been of some help to them. Timo Meier, 5 goals and 8 assists, and Gustav Nyquist with a goal and 9 assists to round things out for the San Jose Sharks. On the St. Louis side of things in net, it'll be Jordan Binnington. He's 8-6 with a 2.57 goals against and a 908 save percentage. On the St. Louis side of things, it'll be Jones, 9-5, 2.74 goals against and a 909 save percentage. So this is one of those highly unusual situations where when it comes to save percentage, Jones is actually higher than the guy he's against in Binnington. So a big game tonight for these guys, and the goaltenders will be watched closely. But more importantly, St. Louis's defense is going to get watched closely. It was kind of tore up by San Jose in that game in game 1. They had far too many prime opportunities, sort of like what we saw with Boston last night, and you just can't allow that in the playoffs. You just can't do that. Now in game 1, we'll look at some stats. The shots were 31-25 for St. Louis. Power play, St. Louis was 0 for 1. San Jose was 1 for 4. Hits, St. Louis actually led there with 41-35 as the total. Blocked shots, San Jose was the leader at 14-12. Giveaways, that's where St. Louis lost the game. Giveaways were 12 for St. Louis, 7 for San Jose. St. Louis cannot make mistakes because when you've got guys like Timo Meier, Logan Couture, Joe Pavelski, Joe Thornton, they'll burn you every time. And the score, of course, was 6-3 for San Jose at the end of the night. And that's what a lot of people are going to focus on and go, oh, that game wasn't really close. Even though it's those giveaways. Just kill you every time. Tarasenko and Pietrangelo were both -3 in game 1. Tarasenko was basically sort of called out by his coach in kind of sort of manner. He's got to be better. And I agree. Vlad Tarasenko has a ton of talent. He has 1 even strength goal in the entire playoffs. Cannot continue that way, especially as we get further into the playoffs, and you really need those guys to step up. Meier and Couture both had 2 goals and an assist in game 1. The challenge, if you're St. Louis, not just no giveaways, but try to keep the puck off those guys' sticks. And when they have the puck, keep them to the outside. Don't let them inside. They'll kill you. Couture was a +3. So again, I know people don't like plus and minus, but you know what? When it's one game and it's an important game like this, and you see Tarasenko and Pietrangelo both -3s, and Logan Couture is a +3, that does say something. Absolutely says something. It's sort of like how Carlson's a -4 for the entire playoffs, Burns is a +4. Those numbers do mean something. Timo Meier had 5 hits in this game, so it's not just goals and assists. He provides its hits as well. and Sammy Blais, for St. Louis. There it is. It's in there. 7 hits for Sammy Blais in game 1. So there's been talk about what St. Louis might do, lineup changes they make. His 7 hits, his physical play, the overall energy he gives the Blues, it makes it difficult to pull him out of the lineup. So we'll see what St. Louis does in game 2, how they adjust, how they try to fix what went wrong in game 1. But it was mental errors, and San Jose jumped on them. So if you give San Jose an opening at all, they will do their best to destroy you, and we'll see what happens, right? There's a lot of social media that I've noticed where people have already handed this series to the Sharks. I think it's premature for that. I do. I've seen right from the beginning, like, it's gonna be Bruins and Sharks, and I'm thinking, well, we haven't played the series yet, and since we saw so many upsets early in the playoffs, it doesn't mean the upsets are over. Just it does get difficult, but it doesn't mean they're over. So this is a huge game for St. Louis. If they can win tonight, they go home for games 3 and 4. We have a totally different series. If San Jose wins, especially if they win convincingly, this could end up being a short series on the St. Louis side of things. This is your big game. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.